Welcome to the Bariatric Nutrition Coach podcast, where we empower you with weight loss surgery, nutrition knowledge, mindset advice, and inspiration so you succeed in your weight and health journey. I'm your host, Jane Stoltz, and I am a bariatric dietitian who has helped over 1,300 people on their weight loss surgery journeys. I'm also a solo mum, lover of long walks while listening to podcasts, partial to a glass of wine, and the ocean is my happy place. Join me as I dive deep into bariatric nutrition and lifestyle topics and deliver them to you in bite-sized, palatable episodes every Monday. Now let's go. Hello and welcome to episode 20. And in this podcast, I'm going to talk about habits which can cause weight regain after bariatric surgery. So no matter what stage people are at after their weight loss surgery, there is, a lot of concern about regaining the weight that they're losing. And if it's not there predominantly or strongly in the early days after your surgery, at some stage that concern will come up. So I wanted to talk today about some of the eating behaviours that are associated that can cause weight regain. And I'm going to go through each of these behaviours and talk about why they lead to weight regain. And also, on the flip side, what do we want to do if we're not doing those behaviours? So let's go. So the first behaviour I want to chat about that can lead to weight regain after bariatric surgery is skipping meals. Now, if you bring your dieting mindset from before surgery into your post weight loss surgery journey, you could be saying, well, the less I eat, the better. If I skip a meal here or there, I'm going to lose more weight. Less intake equals more weight loss. And that actually is not the case, and it's actually not how things work. So skipping meals can be really problematic. And on that flip side of skipping meals, the flip side is eating regular meals, which I'll talk about. That can be really challenging for many people. Before surgery, life was very much about grabbing and going, eating on the run, grabbing whatever was available and not planning and not thinking ahead. But also when you eat like that and you have big gaps between your meals and snacks, you arrive at the next meal or snack really hungry, over hungry, and you will overeat. So that's one aspect to why skipping meals can lead to weight regain, because you have no choice but to overeat, because your body is going to drive you to catch up on the energy that there is a deficit. So it's going to drive you to catch up on that energy intake because you've been underfeeding your body in that earlier part in the day. So skipping meals will lead to overeating. And a really classic or very common eating pattern is nothing for breakfast, not much during the day, so busy, didn't take much with you to work, or when you went out later in the day, you start having really strong hunger. You eat before dinner, you eat dinner, and then after dinner, your body is still going to be pushing you to catch up on your intake. So that is a very common eating pattern. And then what happens is you eat a significant portion of your intake in that later part of the day, the evening, when you're tired and you're emotional. And often your choices aren't the ideal choices, aren't focused around lean protein. Also, when you skip meals, it's really hard to reach your protein goals by the end of the day. And that's why, what is the opposite of skipping meals? The opposite of skipping meals is eating regular meals and snacks. And that's what we want to focus on doing. The benefit is that it helps you not only reach your protein goals by the end of the day, but eating regular meals and snacks helps you regulate your appetite. You are going to reach your protein goal easier, and also you're less likely to overeat. So if you have noticed some weight regain, or you're worried or concerned about weight regain, definitely look at, are you skipping meals and snacks? Are you leaving too long a gap between a meal and a snack? And do you get to the next meal or snack and you're over hungry and notice that you can't eat slowly? So that's the first area I want to talk about, the first habit I want to talk about. And with all the habits that can cause weight regain, there is another habit that we want to foster and put in the place of that habit that will help you manage your weight, help you maintain your weight, and avoid weight regain. So the second habit I want to talk about that can cause weight regain is drinking more of your calories. So what happens and what can happen over time after weight loss surgery is more calories come into your diet in the form of drinking liquids, fluids. We want most of your fluid intake to be either low or no calorie. And it's really quite common to see people start drinking more of their calories over time, an extra milky coffee, an extra smoothie or a boost juice, or one of those juices they sell in the shopping centres, or a ready-made drink off the shelf that has more energy intake. And what I have seen over the years is small kind of incremental increases in drinking more of your calories then results in weight regain. So that is definitely an area to look at. And if you're listening to this, you're concerned about weight regain, or you've noticed some weight regain, have a look at what fluids you're drinking. What were you drinking in the early part of your weight loss surgery journey? What have you been drinking lately? Have you noticed an increase in energy intake in your fluids? It's so much easier to drink your energy than eat it. And it's a bit of like a slippery slope. A little bit here becomes a little bit more there, and it can just increase slowly over time. And so we want to go back to finding low or no energy fluids that you really enjoy and you drink most of the time. Alcohol falls into this category. It can be that there was, you had alcohol after your weight loss surgery occasionally, and then it becomes more regular over time. And that can definitely lead to weight regain. So drinking more calories is definitely a habit that you want to watch out for. The third habit that I want to talk about that can cause weight regain is snacking and grazing. And in a way, it actually goes hand in hand with skipping meals. You haven't eaten for some time, you don't have anything prepared, you don't have a lot of time, or you have put time aside for a meal, you're hungry, you grab something quickly, a little bit, I'll just have a little bit of that to get me through to the next meal. Then often snacking and grazing, and this is when I say snacking here, I mean ad hoc, not planned snacking. As I talk about with regular meals and snacks, they are deliberate snacks, deliberate small meals. Snacking and grazing here is grabbing on the go, not deliberate, not sitting down and eating it mindfully. And you can grab something small to tide you over. Then what can happen is you get to the next meal or snack and you don't have quite that appetite that you would normally have if you've had a nice gap. You don't eat as much at that meal, and then you aren't as satisfied for as long, and then you need to grab something to tide you over into the next meal, and your eating pattern goes totally out. It becomes irregular, and you overall consume more calories. You're more likely to overeat. Also, with the habit of snacking and grazing, it's often associated with foods that aren't high protein, aren't focused on lean proteins. Often they are higher carbohydrate foods, higher fat foods that people snack and graze on. And a little bit here and a little bit there actually will add up over your day. So the flip side, or the opposite of snacking grazing, is really the solution that I talked about with the skipping meals. It comes back to regular meals and snacks. Now tell me, is this you? You have had your bariatric surgery and you're feeling lost, you're lacking support, and you don't know what to eat and when. Or you may have noticed after your surgery, your hunger and cravings have started to return and you are scared you won't reach your goals. You may have had some weight regain and you want to stop the weight regain and lose some more weight. You may be pre-surgery and you want support to be fully prepared for your weight loss surgery journey. If any of these sound like you, then listen up. I have developed my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp just for you. My coaching program provides education, coaching and community for people getting ready for their weight loss surgery and at every stage after their surgery. There are 4 key areas that I focus on with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp. One is the bariatric nutrition basics. You will learn what and how to eat so you feel satisfied, reach your protein and fluid goals, and have less cravings, and know how to manage your hunger in the future. Meal ideas and meal planning. You'll learn to plan meals and snacks that you like, so you have great options on hand when it comes time to eat. Also, we focus on mastering weight regain habits, identifying any habits that are stopping you from reaching your goals, and create manageable strategies to get back on the straight and narrow so you can manage your weight for the rest of your life. And also, I focus with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp on learning to trust your body and food. Start to enjoy your food again by relearning to listen to your body cues so you have less guilt and improve your relationship with food and your body. If you are ready to maximize your weight loss surgery results, feel confident in your journey, and be led with support and expert guidance, then the Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp is for you. If you would like to know more about my coaching program, check out the link in the show notes. And the 4th habit that I'd like to talk to you about that can cause or lead to weight regain is night eating. And this is something that I work with a lot of clients on. So I'm going to talk about what it looks like. And as you listen to this, you can check in and see if this is something that you're doing. Technically, night eating is something we classify if you are eating over 25% of your calories in the evening after dinner. I, as a broader term, will talk about night eating as eating after dinner. So you've had dinner, you've kind of packed things away, and you move on with your evening, and then you will start snacking, grazing. So night eating is a really common challenge for many, many women because, there's quite a few factors. One, really busy days, not eating regularly through the day. So there's hunger after dinner. Even after dinner, your body says, I still need some more energy intake. I still need some more protein. But when you're tired, you're emotional, you're not going to reach for those lean proteins by default. Your default will be high energy foods, discretionary foods. So that's one reason why night eating comes about is a lack of intake during the day. Another reason is it can be mixed with that cravings, the emotional side of eating, because at the end of the day, your tasks are done. You've worked, you've got the kids to bed, you're exhausted, you want something for you, you want to numb out, you want to have a treat, you have that habit of eating and snacking, grazing, sitting on the couch, watching TV. You want to feel certain emotions from food, and that's the time that you have that space to do it. It's a real hot spot for many, many women, and it's something that we work on. And what we can do are many things to help if night eating is one of the challenges for you. And that is getting adequate intake into your day, getting great protein into the early part of your day, setting yourself up to be less hungry after dinner, giving yourself other activities to do, meeting your emotional needs through activities that aren't food, changing your routine to allow for, ensure you're not triggered to do those old eating patterns. So there are definitely lots of things that we can work on and improve in your eating schedule and in your day to support you to eat less after dinner. So to recap, 4 habits which can cause weight regain after bariatric surgery are skipping meals, that irregular eating pattern, drinking more of your calories over time, snacking and grazing, and also night eating. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really appreciate your support. I hope as you listen today, you were able to self-reflect and see if there are any improvements you can make in your diet and lifestyle to, 1, stop weight regain or avoid weight regain. And it can be really challenging to self-reflect and sometimes see ourselves doing behaviors that we don't want to be doing. But I want you to know it is really normal. And these are very common behaviors that I see all the time that do lead to weight regain. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast. And I would like to ask a favor. If you could spare 2 or 3 minutes, I would love you to rate my podcast and give me a review. I love reviews. It gives me feedback that what I'm doing is of value to people, and it also helps people looking through all the podcasts that they can listen to. It helps them identify a podcast that they will find valuable. So thank you so much, and I look forward to being back in your ears next week.